Hello all. Hair's up, rainy day. Next 3 days. So I did my hair Saturday and it was pouring, and by the time I got to the party, Frizz City, so figured why bother? So I have a question. To me, it's a turnoff. And just don't even want to meet the guy if he starts into your likes and dislikes with sex. I don't know. I mean, there's two sides of that. I mean, I think it's too early. You need to get to know each other and see if you actually like the person. But then again, trying to think like a man, and no offense to men, because some women are like this too. So I think it's more men than women, but I could be wrong. Been known to be wrong before. Will admit it when I'm wrong. They start asking the likes, dislikes. They ask, and this was, and I don't know if I told this story, but when I was first on a dating site, and it was Match, which I paid for. And you go on and, you could chat almost like, on AOL when it first came up, or, it's kind of like the instant messenger with Facebook, that. So you can chat. So this guy says, oh, do you want to, chat through a messenger? I said, sure. So we're talking, and you have, live in an apartment or a house, are you fully divorced yet? Do you have your kids just weekends, or, whatever, all these questions. So, okay. All these questions, I was happy to answer them. Then he says, how is your lawn manicured? And I'm like, I don't take care of my lawn. My ex does. And he's like, your ex does? I thought you didn't even have relations so you still have relations? And I'm like, no, I told you he was not interested in that. He's like, but he takes care of your lawn. I was like, yes, he's kind of a control freak. I explained, he's in the mother-in-law suite of the house, blah, 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 blah. So the guy's like, and then I finally realized he's not talking about my actual green lawn on the front of my house and back. He's talking about my lawn down there. Like I said, very naive to all this stuff and everything. So I was like, yeah, I think we're talking about two different things. Other guys have said, you don't have to answer this. Are you kidding me with this light? So you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. And when they say that, they really want you to answer. They're hoping you answer. And if you don't answer, they might be gone. So they said, are you bald? Are you, tightly shaved? Are you, all these different things. And I don't know. That's like, and then one guy's like, I was like, all right, I guess I'll answer him. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I like al natural. One's like, well, I like natural, but I like someone that is, very tightly trimmed or whatever. And I do get waxed, not down like, but I get waxed my legs and, inner thighs, and because for some reason, like the bottom part of my legs, my calves and shins, the hair doesn't grow all that often, and when it comes in, It's not really that dark. It's like very light brown, almost blonde, like brown, light brown, almost blonde. The top is very dark. And when I get waxed, it lasts. Like, it lasted me till it started growing in, I'd say, the end of August, beginning of September, and I got it done end of May, first week in June, like very close to there. I'm not sure if it was the end of May or very beginning of June. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to mark my calendar next time because I want to know how long it lasts. And extremely hairy, like my legs, top of my legs. I don't know why. Very dark and very hairy. I just don't understand why. So I haven't done it again. I really should, because it's getting to be the spring. So I think now I will do that. And then see how long it lasts. So you figure if I do it in March, April, May, June, if it lasts to June and then June through the summer, I really should do it all year round. Someone I know, her mom started taking her when she was 16. And by the time I want to say she was 30, 31, in that, anywhere between 29 and 31. She said her eyebrows and her hair, like even I gotta go tonight, chin and mustache and eyebrows. I didn't have time Saturday. She said, this, she's always had waxed, and her eyebrows, her mother started taking her when she was 16, and her legs. And she said her hair hardly grows, I guess, all those years. So that's mine. And I hear as you get older, it grows less and slower. This seems to grow more. So is that a turn off? I'm like, maybe that's a question like after the third date. And the likes and dislikes, like first time you're talking and some guy gets into that, and I don't know. I have gone with it at times and said, yes, we're adults, but don't expect that to happen right away, whatever. It's like, yeah, well, I just want to make sure we're on the same page, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, I don't know. Those didn't seem to work out, because then it was like, that's all he wanted to talk about. So now I'm like, listen, that's a conversation for another time in the future after we meet. And some are like, oh, okay. Some are total gentlemen and don't, talk about it. And I just wonder what you think about that. Like, how soon is too soon to talk about that? And I mean, I feel the sex part is, I don't know why I just said that slow. I'm in the car by myself. Happens when the time is right. And I have decided going forward, like, you're gonna get like a hug and a kiss, like a little peck, not a kiss. And make them want for more. That's how I'm feeling. And I don't know. I'm feeling weird lately. I'm excited about this meetup, but I found out, 2 guys, that I have met. Last was the cruise guy, and then another guy a couple years ago, are members. I'm not sure if they're going. My brother's a member. I don't think he's going. Doesn't seem like his type of thing. So I just feel like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to go in there like, hey, I'm going to meet someone. Some guys have reached out, and some have through Messenger, Facebook Messenger, but then that's it. Hey, I'd love to chat, whatever. I don't see them right away because they're not my friends. So I really, I'm not purposely waiting to answer them, but it happens. And that's the way it goes. The other thing is, and I've said this, there's some things that I'm not a big fan of sexually. But if my partner likes that, if I'm in the mood to, and that's when they'll say, I have to be in the mood. And like I said, once in a while, because it's give and take. I mean, as long as he's willing, if there's something he doesn't like. Deal breaker for me is if, like I said, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and that's it. Ugh, no. Had that in the beginning of my marriage, and then slowly nothing. And will not do that again, because it's just not, and I'm not saying all the time. If he's like, oh, okay, just, let's a quickie, whatever. Okay. But if that's all he wants all the time, he's not into anything else, no, can't. So, and is there, my ex started with bad breath. Oh my God. And Frank was like, oh, come on. And I was like, you haven't gotten that close to him then. So then we went to our family brunch. And of course, my ex was in good graces with my family at that time. And Frank went, because we were together. And the kids didn't mind. And, my grandmother, who did the brunch, left it up to us. And I asked my ex, he's like, I don't care. I can't tell you who to bring. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm like, the kids are okay with it. So I'm just, okay, then he's coming. So he turns around, and we wanted to buy a laptop for my daughter, me and the ex. So Frank's son is very hot, he was going to go to college for IT. He's doing something with that. I don't know if he went to college or didn't, but he didn't go where he was supposed to in Florida, but maybe around here. I don't know. He's not even living in the state anymore. He's living down south. So I'm like, okay. So then he was sitting with my ex at the brunch, and they're going over the laptops, and because his son told them, what they shouldn't get, and he was showing him some things, that his son said were good for her. And when we got in the car, the kids, it was their father's week, so the kids got into the car with their father to go with them, and me and Frank went, and he turns to me and he said, oh my God, his breath is worse than a dog's ass. And I said, well, I tried telling him, and I said, and I was reading, going online, and I was telling him, could be from his stomach. He had a lot of, he ate a lot of crap, and stomach acids, and he had a problem with that. I was constantly eating Tums, and I think he went on something for acid reflux, whatever. And I'm like, it could be coming from your stomach. He's like, no one's told me that I have bad breath. And I'm like, no one is going to. Like, I'm telling you. Like, at the time, I was his wife. I was like, as your wife, I'm telling you. Because people aren't going to say anything. And that is a deal breaker for me. If a guy starts talking to me and smells breath, I'm like, oh, hell to the no. So, even my friends, they're like, oh, yeah, oh my God. They didn't say anything when they're like, his breath was, when he talked to me, I was like, blah. And they're like, how did he meet anyone? Because that's a deal breaker for them too. Like bad breath. And I think it was the food he was eating, because he had the acid reflux and it was just coming up and giving him bad breath. My son started with it and I was like, oh my God, my son. So my son now, uses this rinse and flosses and brushes his teeth and does this whole routine, and his breath is so much better. And maybe it's a hereditary thing. I don't know. I didn't notice with his parents that they had bad breath. But I was just like, oh my God. How gross. So that's one thing. If I notice dirt under their nails, their teeth, like yellow, like they crusty, like they haven't brushed them, then they usually have bad breath anyway. So that's double turn off. And I mean, mine aren't the whitest, but I floss, I brush like at least twice a day, if not more. And I carry in my makeup bag a travel toothbrush and a little tube of toothpaste, because when I feel like my teeth are yucky, I have to brush them. And I really did get out of the habit of brushing them after lunch, only because when I started working at the law firm, it was just, I was eating at my desk and working, and so I just got out of the whole thing, the habit. Occasionally I would, if something I ate that really bothered my mouth. One thing that bothers my teeth, the feeling in my teeth, is apples sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta brush my teeth. I don't know why. And I usually stick with Red Delicious apples because those are my favorite. So I don't know what it is. I really don't. So what are deal breakers for you? Someone's dressed very sloppy. That tells me that they could care less about meeting me. Again, turn off if they start getting in. Oh, definitely, they send a dick pic. Done. Good luck to you. Like, if that's the way you're starting off now. Ask me for a picture. I've had guys, oh, can you send me a picture? And they're like, no, man, of your boobs. And I'm like, no. I mean, there was times, bored, whatever, naive, and I'm like, oh, exciting. Oh, he wants to see me. So now, I've learned a lot along the way. And I used to think, oh, wow, if I do this, then, oh, he's really going to be interested. Or if I answer this. But not anymore. Not anymore. I'm too old for that BS. Too old for it. And if a guy said to me, listen, I need to use a little blue pill. And my next question would be to him, do you use it? Do you have them to use them? And if he says yes, then I was like, okay. But unlike the guy that said to me, he just wanted to go down on me constantly and kiss and whatever, and then he's like, oh, I really can't, get hard. And I'm like, oh, not with a pill or anything, because he was a really nice guy. He's like, oh yeah, but I'm not spending, like, what is it, $6 a pill? That tells me that was the end for me. That tells me I'm not worth $6. I'm not worth the price of a pill. So, sorry. I mean, if a guy says to me, sometimes I can perform, sometimes I can't. I can't take any of the pills because of my blood pressure or something. If he can, sometimes can, sometimes, oh, okay. I'm okay with that. It's not, I mean, I don't say that it's the most important thing. I think it is important to have that connection, because I feel like that is, if you have that connection with each other, like all the other connections, that is so much better. And if that's good, then the other connections become even better. So, I don't know. Lately I feel just like the air is out of my balloon. That sounds like somebody said, oh, I've given up on meeting. I won't date. I don't want to do that. I won't be with someone just to be with someone, but I want to meet someone and do things. And like I said, it doesn't have to be all the time. If I see him one day on the weekend to start out, then one day on the weekend, one day during the week, build it from there. But I don't need someone with me 24/7. Some people do. And if you do, hey, go for it. Then find someone that wants that. But I also don't want someone that, like this one guy put in our group, said, I don't need someone. I don't want someone. I'm fine being by myself. I just want to see, date someone once in a while. And okay, then you need to find someone that's okay with that. And I wouldn't mind that, like I said in the beginning. But if that's all you want forever, I'm not saying 24/7, eventually get to 24/7, no. But eventually get to, like a weekend, like spending a weekend every other weekend together, things like that. And having a +1 would be nice, but I don't know. But I need to go into the store and get some stuff for my boss. So I will talk to you guys later. I hope it's not raining and dreary where you are, like it is here and gonna be for the next 3 days. Just so depressing. But after work, wax. Cannot wait. Finally, rip it off. Get it off. All right. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.